Ooh.
Shai, did you feel like there was anything in particular you all executed better on the defensive end in the second half?
Yeah, I think the crowds, our help defense, our just intensity, our hands, deflections. Like we were more engaged and more aggressive with the game plan. I think at first we were a little bit passive with the game plan, still trying to execute it, but a little bit passive. And once we attacked it and tried to get those things into the game, we started getting stops.
What was your, observation of J-Dub orchestrating? I think he had 8 assists and then kind of got his offense into the game late as well, particularly those fourth quarter minutes at the beginning of the fourth.
Yeah, a big game from him. He's been really good as of late. Just finding the balance between scoring, playmaking, and ultimately, he's we're as good as he plays. When he wins his minutes, when he's the best version of himself, we're pretty hard to beat, and I think we've seen that all year. And he's becoming that as the season gets wrapped up. And not that I didn't expect it, but I'm excited for the team and his future because of that.
Yeah, big game, everybody watching. Y'all get down 10-0 in the early minutes. Is that something that y'all just play through, or is it something where y'all have to reset?
Yeah, we just play through. We've given up a 16-point lead in 3 minutes. We've come back from 20 in a quarter. NBA game, basketball game is so long, especially in the first quarter, especially in the first couple minutes. We just have to it just puts a little bit more pressure because now you're behind the ball, but yeah, we don't panic. We've been in that situation before, been on the other end of the situation before. We know it's a long game. We know there's a lot of basketball to be played, and we just focus on the things that are going to get us to win.
One of the phrases that's thrown around in this league a lot is being battle tested. How would you describe going to war every night with this group of guys?
Yeah, it's super fun, and I think that's the most important part of it. The season's gonna have ups and downs. The season, you're gonna have good days, bad days, good wins, bad wins, good losses, bad losses. There's no controlling that stuff, but having fun with each other, enjoying the process is what gets you through it and ultimately helps you have the best success. And I think if I had to sum it up, that's what this group is. Everywhere we go, every city we go, every game we play, every day spent together is fun, and it makes so-called work exciting to go to.
Shai, I seem to remember after one of those Dallas games here early in the year, you were talking about, you reflecting in the summer on the Dallas series and feeling like you could have put your teammates in a better position in the postseason last year. Just thinking back on the season and excuse me, that series, how far do you feel like you've come in terms of putting those guys in position to win high-pressure games? Because, obviously tonight, mirrors a playoff setting.
Yeah, I feel like I've come a long way. The group's come a long way. In the past couple weeks, months, we've seen guys really get comfortable and really grow as players and make big shots, make big plays. You've seen Wiggs, Jay Will, Isaiah Joe, Dub tonight. We've seen guys step up to the plate, and the more reps they have doing so, the better we're going to be late when we really need the games in the playoffs. And that's what the goal is, to take advantage of the regular season, get better from every game, and make sure that when it's the end of the year, you're as sharp as you can be.
And kind of wrapped up in that, how much of your job as a superstar is to give guys confidence all the way down the bench, and how have you gone about, trying to do that?
Yeah, it's completely on my shoulders. It's what makes a winning basketball team. The hardest, I always think of it from the reverse psychology of it. So I think about when I'm guarding somebody or I'm guarding a team or we're guarding a team, the hardest teams and players to guard are players that are confident, that are always aggressive, that aren't timid. And that's how I'd want teams to feel when they play us. no matter who's out there, they're aggressive, they're comfortable out there, they make shots, make plays, and they keep it moving. And that's the goal for all 15 guys of us, just to make sure that when we get out there, we're confident and we're the best version of ourselves.
Shai had a really nice night tonight, but you went 2 of 11 from 3. You hit some massive ones late, and you had a head fake on Jamal Murray where you get past him. I was just wondering if these are sort of the matchups and games that you envision when you were working on that shot over the summer.
I wouldn't say not really. Like I didn't really envision matchups when I was doing it. I more envisioned a mindset, an aggressiveness, and a confidence level. And I think I've gotten there. Like regardless, make or miss, it's a shot that I'm comfortable shooting. I'm gonna shoot. And like you said, I came down the left wing and I was about to pull up from 3, faked it, and was able to get to the lane because of it. And I think that's just a product of being willing to shoot it. And I think it opens up the game for myself, my teammates, and everybody else with guys guarding me a little bit further out. So yeah, it's a development process, and it's been fun. I continue to work on it. I'd like to make a few more for sure, but it doesn't always go in, right?
Andrew Schlecht with The Athletic. Most of your games have been won on like winning the possession battle, turnovers. The Nuggets didn't turn the ball over much tonight, only 7 total. But you guys really executed in the half court and defended really well in the half court today. Like, what did that feel different to you guys today? Just being able to execute in like a slower paced game.
Yeah, with like, especially Jokic, with the amount he controls their offense, like it's gonna be hard to turn them over. Like he's a good player, he takes care of the ball, he makes the right plays almost every time down. So we knew that like tonight was gonna come down to like defensive execution and just making it hard. And regardless, whether it's turnovers, whether it's like missed shots and rebounding, like whatever it is, we want to make it difficult for them. And being able to play, whether we turn them over or make them miss, it's the same thing to us. Getting stops. Being able to do it in multiple ways makes us a better group.
So you guys have talked before about being 0-0 and kind of just dealing with each game as it comes and being able to ignore some of the noise that comes with a matchup like this. Was that a trait of yours always, or is that something you've had to develop over time to be able to just hone in on the task at hand?
Sorry, one more time?
So the ability to just like ignore the fact that this is a ABC game and all the narratives around it. Have you always been able to do that, or is this something that you've learned throughout the process that each game is kind of its own thing?
Yeah, I've learned that. I think from a young age I was taught that, especially like playing AAU, you play 3-4 games in a day. You don't have time to whine or celebrate about the last game. And I think that mentality just carried over. But also in life, like, your last day is your last day. You can't do nothing about the past. You can just try to be better, and that's like my mentality.
Yes. Go ahead, Tony.
Knowing that, knowing where you guys started from, with this organization, you know, a lot of losing, a lot of hard days, a lot of hard nights. Knowing where you guys want to end, which is obviously with a championship. When you guys started this process, was a game like today somewhere, you know, where you guys wanted to be, not at the end of the process, but just as a part of the process? And, you know, and if that's the case, you know, what does it feel like to kind of be, you know, the game of the day, and, you know, being on national television and being on ABC and being in that primetime slot?
Yeah. It's fun for sure. It's like what you get out of bed for as a competitor, as a basketball player. Adds a little bit more pop and excitement to the games, without a doubt. Like just walking out there pregame, you can feel it in the building. Like the biggest thing though is like still treating it as it's any other day, any other game, because when it comes down to it, the game's gonna be won doing the things that you've done in practice, in training camp, all season long, in your habits. And I think that's kind of the balance you have to find, like the excitement, but also the groundedness to know that if you want the outcome, you gotta go get it, and you gotta do the right things. And I think this group does a really good job of that, and has done a really good job of that throughout the year.
Joel, and then we'll go here.
Shai, obviously you've been asked about, you know, the MVP race all year, and you kind of redirected those questions. But I am curious, like, considering the race that you and Jokic have had, like, have you thought about, why people are so obsessed over the race, and have you put forth any, like, appreciation for what the two of you are doing, or understood kind of what it is that you guys are doing head to head, so to speak?
So what was your first question? What was the first part of your question?
Just have you thought about why people are obsessing over this race?
I've never thought about it, but I would think it's something to talk about. It is entertaining. It's part of the sport, like individual performances. It's an honor to be in the conversation in itself and be regarded as such. And then what was your other part of the question?
Have you been able to put forth any appreciation for what the two of you are doing, and kind of the reason why people are sort of into this?
Yeah, it's been very fun. Like, most of the appreciation comes from, honestly, like, my teammates. Like, no matter how good of a basketball player I am, like, if we don't check the win column as much as we do, the conversation wouldn't be the conversation. And, like, that's the forefront of it, like, winning basketball games. And it goes back to what I was saying before about, like, that's what it's all about. That's what it goes back to. And once you win, everything else comes, and I think it's just a product of that. So for me, like, I just focus on winning, focus on trying to be the best version I can be for this team, and wherever that takes me, it takes me.
Shai, your leadership style, like, you basically taking accountability for, not getting your teammates prepared last season, stuff like that. How much of your leadership strategy was learned in your 1 year with CP?
None of it. I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for. Chris is very, like, vocal, very smart basketball player, and, like, when he sees something, he says it. He's a very good leader, nonetheless. We're just a little bit different. But, like, I guess my leadership is a little bit more lead by example, and the taking accountability, I think I learned from a young age. Like, my parents never let me make excuses for myself, like, whatever it was. If I thought a teacher was picking on me, or if I thought, I don't know, a basketball game went a certain way, like, it was always in my control. It was always something that I could do to be better. And that's just, I guess, something I grew up with, and something that's second nature to me now, and I've kind of implemented it in my leadership.
Cliff, go ahead.
Yeah, so there was a play in that fourth quarter offensively that I think kind of maybe epitomizes a little bit of how you guys hustle. It was a play by Lou Dort where he missed that dunk, but then he got open in the corner and hits a three. What do you think when you see a guy do something like that? I mean, because he could have sulked or whatever, but made the best of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's basketball. We're a team that plays the next possession ahead. Lou obviously blew a dunk. The dunk would have went crazy, but I think it worked for the better. 3 points is better than 2 points. But yeah, we try to play the next play in front of us all the time, and I think that's why we've been able to go on runs this year like we do. We just always focus on what's in front of us.
Anybody else? We're going to go Andrew, last question for Shai.
You played against Jokic a lot, but you haven't played against the Nuggets and Jokic with Isaiah Hartenstein. Can you just talk about, like, the difference that he makes defensively and offensively for you guys?
Yeah, like, honestly, like, from the moment he's been back from injury and been on the court, it's a difference maker. The screening, the pocket play, the playmaking, the rebounding, the post defense, like, just the brute force is very big for us. And coming down the stretch towards the postseason, when the game slows down, we're gonna need all those things to be a successful team. And I think that's why, I know that's why we did what we did and went and got him this summer, because he's a valuable basketball player. No matter what team he plays for, no matter what level, like, that guy affects winning. And I think we saw it last season in the playoffs with him, and hopefully we see it again this year.
Thank you, Shai.
Executed on defensively in that second half to really slow them down.
You're asking me for the secrets, Gallo. I think we just really stuck together as a team. We knew what we were trying to accomplish, and we communicated with each other to do it in real time. And we really limited, the mistakes that we make. They're a good team. We know they're going to score points and make plays, but we can't give them easy ones. And I feel like that's what we took away.
I wanted to ask you about your spin move. You had it going a few times tonight from different angles on the floor against different types of defenders. How much confidence, how critical do you feel like that aspect of your offensive game can be for you?
Yeah, I just got to continue to keep being aggressive, taking what the defense gives me, without kind of forcing things and messing up kind of the flow and the rhythm that we have out there. Tonight, I had a couple opportunities to make that play, and I made it. And, I just got to continue to be aggressive. And when the defense gives me an opportunity to do that, I got to take it. So got to keep doing that more.
You had some foul trouble in the first half, but coach put you back in, and you kind of went on a run or whatever. Talk about how the trust he puts in you to put you in that situation.
Yeah, his philosophy is exactly what mine would be if I was a coach too. You don't get to take the fouls home, and a lot of times, you'll sit somebody and then they'll end the game with 2 fouls, and you miss the opportunity to be playing them. And if he has me out there, I got to go play. So, he trusts me to make the right play. I still picked up a couple fouls in situations I shouldn't have. But that's the way the game goes, is just trying to make plays, be aggressive. And, coach put the trust in me to be out there. So, I still got to do what the team needs me to do.
And also, this is the first game where you and Hart been healthy. You had Jokic. Last year, you were the guy, but now you got somebody to go with you. How much difference does that make?
Oh, extremely different. Last times we've played, I've pretty much been matched to him minute to minute, guarded him pretty much the whole game. We have some different schemes that we were employing that are different than what we did today. I think I was barely matched to him at all throughout the game. I think Hart and Jay Will both did a really solid job on him. But I still think there's things that we can clean up for tomorrow, not only on him, but on their team as a whole. I'm still kind of learning, playing alongside another big, like you said, last year. Not only against Denver, we never really had a different look than me at the 5. Pretty much against anybody we didn't last year. So it's definitely something new. There's a learning curve. I'm continuing to work at it, but I really think it opens up a lot for us as a team. And as we get more comfortable and get more of a look at it, I think even more will open up.
Staying with that, you and Hart were a combined plus 20 in your minutes together, and that's despite the early run that those guys made. You're now maybe 10 games in post All-Star break of you guys playing together. Where have you guys seen the most improvement between you two playing on offense or defense?
Experience is a great teacher. We've made mistakes early on. We had mistakes tonight, but we've done a really good job of continuing to learn from them, continuing to communicate, continuing to be bought in together, and really kind of try and be better after every experience. And tonight was no different. The whole game, I feel like we're getting better at being kind of on a string. He knows where I'm going to be. I know where he's going to be. And, we can kind of play off of each other. We're still out there communicating, but, we're getting stuff done without having to say something every single time. So I think that's important.
Chet, going back to Jokic, I know you mentioned that you weren't matched up with him as often as some of your teammates, but even if from afar, just when you are matched with him, what have you learned about the kind of things he does that are inevitable? And I know it's probably tough to even say he has trade-offs, but what can you give up, if anything, that you've learned?
He's a really good player, so you can't give him advantages, and you kind of have to understand what he's trying to do in each area of the floor. Good players, you don't take them out of a game, you just make everything they do as hard as possible and trust that, in the end, that's going to give you, a winning advantage. And, I feel like tonight he made really good plays, and you kind of can't give him advantages because, he's a really good player for a reason. He's going to take advantage of those. You got to play super solid, and, you also got to trust the people behind you, that they're going to do their job. And he understands that. That's why he's such a good passer. But I think, there's still things we can improve on there. And that's what we're going to do tomorrow before the game.
Chet, you mentioned communication a couple of times, and you also just mentioned trust on this team. From the outside looking in, you guys are obviously a group of professionals, but what is it like to be on a team where you can have those open lines of communications, no ego, and one common goal?
Oh, yeah, it's extremely important. We all trust that when somebody's saying something, there's the right intention behind it, whether, you're propping somebody up or you're telling them that they're not doing their job right in that situation. We all understand that the goal at the end of the day is winning. So anything that needs to be said is going to be said. We have very rare, if any, moments where communication is negative. It's more so, even when you're telling somebody that they're doing something wrong, it's not negative because they have the intention of getting it right. So you're just communicating, helping them out. Especially me coming back in the middle of the season, there's been a lot of those moments with me playing a new position, seeing a lot of different things for the first time. So, I just understand that everybody's trying to win, and, I'm on the same page there. So, talking to each other, making sure that we're all on the same page is important.
So as a team, you guys scored 41 points in the fourth quarter, which set a new season high. Against a team like this, against the Nuggets, obviously Jokic, such a talented team, experienced team. Not to say that you guys have reached where you want to be, but is that sort of, you get that feel when you're able to put up such a big fourth quarter like that? And how much is that do you think will carry over into this mini series you have going on right now?
Yeah, I don't think you can ever feel like you're where you want to be when it's March, right? When it's March, it's way too early in the regular season. Up until the season's over, really, you're not where you want to be. You have to continue to improve and keep getting better. Obviously, seeing the same team twice in 2 days, kind of has a bit of a playoff feel to it, where you're playing a team and then you're making adjustments and doing it right after you just played them. But we just have to take it with the mindset of, we're out here trying to get better and improve. Obviously, we're trying to win games, and that's, at the forefront of everything. But, we just have to continue to be better and then trust that that's going to put us in a good spot, come playoff time. And, we'll feel good if we do that.
You've been in and out of the lineup since your return. Just how are you feeling physically, today?
Yeah. Probably a little better than you, my guy. I'm sorry. Again, I'm sure that, I've been there. It's not fun. I know you're powering through. Keep going. But, whatever my problems might be, they could always be worse. I've been better, I've been worse, but, I'm out there playing. It's what I love to do. I'm extremely happy to do it. So every opportunity I get to play, don't take it for granted. And, whatever I have to do to be out there, I'm doing that.
Thank you, Chet.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Or a confidence standpoint, what did you feel like was best defensively in that second half?
Execution. We're always going to play hard, so that's not really a concern. Just execution. I thought we did a good job of the game plan and figuring out. I wouldn't say figuring out, but just what we wanted to get accomplished. We did a good job of locking in on that, and so execution was good for us.
And I guess speaking of confidence and getting what you wanted to get done, I want to ask you about your offensive night, because it just seemed like you were making the right play, racking up a ton of assists early, and then that may have opened some things up for you later, or what did you feel out there?
I'm just taking what the game gives me, as boring as an answer as that is. Let me rebound and try and do other things to impact the game. and just keep being aggressive. Like, if me getting in the paint, having to kick out to an open three is the play, then that's the play I'm going to make. If it's me getting a jumper, it's me getting a jumper. So I'm kind of just reading the defense and going from there. But I think the biggest thing is trying not to hunt one specific thing. It's just kind of reading the game and reading my teammates.
Doug, Mark has talked all season about wanting you to play with force, and he said tonight that you play with great force. When you hear that, what do you think of, and I guess what is it taking for you to, play with more force over the course of the season?
It's not like this game isn't like the first time that it's happened, so I don't think he means that, but I don't know. I think I'm just a force when I'm going down the lane, and it puts a lot of pressure on the defense to have to adjust to how I'm playing. So it's more like when we talk about it, it's not like one game or that I don't do it. It's like something to keep in mind constantly, like being able to play through fouls and just being able to, like, if I see a gap, being able to kind of attack that space. So it's something that like I'm constantly thinking about. And so every time he says it, it's like kind of like reinforcing that, like trying not to let people off the hook with like just coming off screens kind of slow or whatever the case may be. Like always having that mindset that people have to react to what I'm doing.
Yeah, Andrew Schleck with The Athletic. So career high 11 free throw attempts today for you.
Really? Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me about just like the process for you? I know it's been kind of something that's been frustrating for you at times, of just like finding your way to the free throw line. But can you talk about the process of like finally getting there?
A lot of it was not worrying about the officiating, understanding they're human, they're gonna miss calls, same way I'm gonna miss shots. So I kind of just let up off of it. But kind of going back to the last question too, it's just about playing with force, being able to play through contact. Thought I'd done a good job like finishing whether or not I'm getting hit. So I think that's been a big one. And I think I'm just getting more and more reps of like figuring out how to like draw fouls. I think I pump fake and got somebody in the air today. So like I'm constantly just trying to figure it out from there. But I think a lot of it's just playing through contact. And if I get fouled, I get fouled. And tonight I thought I had a pretty good process of it.
You guys have faced a lot of zones since you come back from the All-Star break.
Yeah,
This one's a little bit different than what Minnesota and some others did. What did you do to kind of figure it out and to get the offense going?
I think we're getting more and more comfortable with it. That's what teams are doing to kind of like, whenever we get in a flow offensively, teams kind of throw that in as a wrinkle, and we're just trying to figure out different ways to be effective in it. And tonight we didn't really let it like stump us, so we've done a good job of just like our approach. Every zone for the most part is going to be around the same. It's just how we attack it, and we're just trusting each other to make the right play.
Last season, you guys were a really, really high-level defense, and this season it's gone up a notch, seemingly. And I think a lot of people would see the biggest contributing factors be the leap that you've taken, and then guys like AC and Hart. Those guys specifically, what do you think what impact have they brought the most that's really helped you guys like ascend to another level this season?
I can go down the list. Hart, obviously, just paint presence. He's smart in the coverages. AC is first team, second team. I don't know what he was. What was he last year? With the Bulls. Yeah, first team. Obviously, he's a first team defender, so that goes in it. Obviously, we have Lou, who should be on a team every year. I think underratedly, Queso has been extremely good for us this year on the ball. When Lou comes out, I mean, he can kind of do everything. So I think like even him just being under the radar. So we just have guys that can play defense. Obviously, I can do whatever. Chet being back helps us go 1 through 5. We have Shai that plays defense, being what he is offensively. For him to play defense the way he does helps us run. So I think overall we just have a lot of pieces defensively. Everybody likes playing defense on our team, which is rare. And we have that out there. It makes it easy to trust each other, kind of have each other's back, and just play hard.
Over here, you mentioned trust, and Chet mentioned trust and communication as well. From the outside looking in, of course, you guys are professionals, but what is it like to be on a team when you have those open lines of communication, no ego, and one common goal?
Yeah. I think some of that is because we're young, and we all understand that we're trying to like figure out our way through the NBA together, and I think some of that helps when I think everybody wants each other to succeed, so we kind of understand that we're all trying to get to around the same thing, and we're young in our career, so I think that helps. You said open line of communication. I think we do a good job of like verbalizing what we're trying to get accomplished and like what the problem is. I think our huddles are extremely close. And yeah, I think just the biggest thing for me is everybody wants each other to succeed, and we kind of all know what we're going to bring to the table. So I think when we have that, we do a good job of executing that and just kind of talking through what the ups and downs of the season are.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Jalen, you guys scored a season high 41 points. Most of you scored in the fourth quarter. Against a team like this, Denver Nuggets, Jokic, I mean, that playoff type atmosphere that you felt. Is it easy to feel like you reached another level? Or am I accurate in saying that? And the second part of my question is, how much of that do you think carries over into tomorrow with the same matchup being less than 24 hours?
I wouldn't say like we hit another level. I think we're just in a flow. You don't want to like jump the gun on like seeing where you're at, but we're just playing the right way and we're reaping the benefits of playing the right way. So when you have a good approach like that, eventually shots are going to fall and you're going to get into a rhythm of scoring. I think we've done a really good job all year of defending the ball. I think they had 103 tonight. So that's something that we're like laying our foundation on, and then that's kind of what's flowing our offense. And, I don't want to get too ahead of what's going on because we got to play them again tomorrow, and it could be a completely different thing. So we're just kind of taking it one game at a time and trying to get better each game.
Yeah, the MVP race is top of mind for a lot of people today, seeing Shai and Jokic out there. How much does it mean to you as Shai's teammates to like see him in this race and, for a lot of people being ahead?
Yeah, it means a lot. It probably means more to us than him, but at the same time, we're all focused on winning. And when you're winning, it solves a lot of those issues and like those kind of debates and stuff. So we just try and go out there and win the game. And obviously he's going to do his thing. So a lot of that is just us trying to be there for him the same way that he's there for us. So.
Anybody else?
Mark, what aspects of the game in the third quarter did you feel like you started to really get control of to help carry you through to the end of the game with a nice run out?
Yeah, love the way we started the half because we built a little bit of a lead in the second and then surrendered it down the stretch, and it was close at halftime. And then we got some separation early, which is always good. We were ready to play. And then I just thought our defense in the third and the fourth was really, really good. That was a catalyst for us tonight. I actually didn't think it was our best offensive night on a lot of possessions. We had a lot of really good possessions, obviously, but I thought the defense in the second half was big time.
J-Dub seemed to just be pretty steady with the playmaking throughout the whole first half, and then the second half got some more scoring into it. What did you make of just his approach and then the impact that he had? Yeah,
I thought he played with great force tonight. Not only on his own offense, obviously he got fouled a lot and got himself to the line, which is something we've talked about a ton to this point in the season. He did a great job there, but also just his force to get to the lane and then make plays for his teammates, found a lob, found some spray outs, and then found his own offense. But I thought as the game went on, he got more forceful, and then that group to start the fourth when they played Jokic a good stretch after the whole third, that group separated the game, and he had a lot to do with that on the offensive end.
Mark, we talked before the game about, what an actualized team would look like, some of those qualities. How much of what you have in mind when you think of that did you see in that fourth quarter?
For our team? I mean, it's one of 82. We play these guys again tomorrow. We're not, overreacting. I know there's a lot of noise around the game, but, we were just okay for a lot of the game. And they're going to play better tomorrow. Hopefully we play better tomorrow. And then I thought we stacked stops in the fourth and in the second half, but we've done that all year. I didn't think it was any sort of epiphany.
And it felt like as soon as Chet started getting in foul trouble, like Jay Will delivered some big minutes early in the first half. I guess, what do you make of the minutes from Chet, Jay Will, Hartenstein, just the entire front court as they dealt with some of those challenges?
Yeah, we have great respect for Jokic, and he's a really good player, and the way you got to play him is with activity, and we have the luxury of using fresh legs against him. And I thought, we were able to throw different guys on him. Jay Will had him in that stretch in the first, and also made some shots for us, which was important. I thought Hart did a great job on him in the third, and in the fourth, and Chet, had some minutes on him early in the fourth with foul trouble, and I thought he did a good job. So team effort, five-man defense, but those guys were really good on him tonight.
You had a moment in the second quarter when Chet picked up his third foul. You took him out, put him back in about the 7:37 mark.
Yep.
And got a little run. He had a dunk. Why'd you kind of take that, I guess, chance or whatever? It worked out for you, and then you took him out in 4 minutes.
Yeah, said many times, going to make the refs foul those guys out. I'm not going to foul them out, and there's 10 to go when he got the third, I think, and if you sit him the whole half, you're basically fouling him out of the first half of the game. So got him a quick one, got him back out there, didn't close the half with him. And if he had picked up his fourth, we would have adjusted accordingly in the second half. But, I trust these guys to make the right plays. I trust the officials to call what they see. And he didn't foul out of the game, so it was impactful for us because he gave us great minutes when he was out there.
And they ran that, I don't know, it was 3-2 or 1-2-2 zone, kind of gave him some problems. He kind of figured it out one time, I guess. Chet was on the left wing. He found Hart on the baseline from the right side. Is that a call play or just working it out that way?
No, I mean, we didn't design it to get that specifically, but it was a play call. I mean, I thought we got some really good stuff as the game went on, as we got used to it. Early on, I didn't think our attacks were great, but it's a good thing about playing them tomorrow. I'm sure they'll throw that out again tomorrow, and we'll be more ready for it. And when they go to it, we'll have some attacks ready for it.
Mark, the starting lineup got off to a little bit of a slow start in the first half and then a good start in the second half. Is there anything you would attribute that to beyond just basketball being a game of runs?
Yeah, variance. It's a really good lineup. The closed game really well on both ends of the floor. It's new, so I understand there's a little bit more tension on it, but there's going to be parts of the game where there's runs. We got a lot of good guys out there. They play well together. I really liked what that looked like tonight against this particular team, especially in the fourth quarter. I thought it had its desired intention as the game went on. So I thought a lot of positive things with that lineup tonight.
Andrew Schlecht, The Athletic. You don't defend Jokic with just one guy, but Hartenstein probably did the best of anybody just one-on-one. Does that come from him playing with him prior, or is there like a lot of film study beforehand, or like how did all that kind of work out for IR specifically?
I don't know. It's a good question for him. He's probably a little bit familiar from playing against him, playing with him. He's also guarded a lot of different players and is a really good point of attack defender. It's the first time we've played against him, Jokic, in a long time where we haven't like all out doubled him, which we've done a lot in the past. And we took a look at that tonight to see how we did with it with Hart, and that's another thing we can look at tomorrow. But I agree with you. I thought he did a good job. I thought Jay Will gave us really good minutes on him late in the first quarter, especially. But he's a tough cover. He obviously requires a lot of attention. He does a lot for their team.
Mark, you've talked about Jay will need to stay ready even as the team gets healthier, and the game kind of swung back to him the last three nights, getting that production. Can you take us through any of that invisible work that we don't see that's led him to get here, staying ready and being able to perform?
Yeah, just great mental toughness because obviously his role is very fluid right now. But he does a great job of being consistent with his approach and with his work. And when you're consistent with your approach and your work, then you're, more likely to be consistent with your play. And he's a first-class professional in that regard. He's done a great job with that. And he's given us huge, the Memphis game, he went in there and made shots and was really impactful in that one. He was obviously outstanding against Portland. And he was a huge lift for us in the first quarter of the game tonight. So deserves a lot of credit for his professionalism and readiness.
When you look at SGA against the drop, what were some of the things that you guys did to try to adjust once they put Jokic on your shooters in the corner and tried to discourage some of the ball screen action that you guys were doing?
Yeah, we knew coming in that they were going to be pretty schematic. That's how they've played us in the past. They throw a lot of different things at us quickly, and they are a team that forces you to calibrate and pivot very quickly to the way you need to attack them. I actually thought, as he's a great player, he had 40 points, but there were some looks that he usually bangs home that he didn't hit tonight. He's probably disappointed with how he played, as crazy as that is. And some of it's how they played him. I thought he got some clean ones off the pick and rolls. They're shots we wanted to shoot, and we wanted to be a threat to shoot those. And so we're taking those shots, most of them every single night. But he played a great game. He went back in there, really stabilized down the stretch. I thought our attacks against Memphis the other night in the fourth quarter of the game just weren't as sharp as they needed to be. And tonight, in the same kind of area of the game, we did a great job of slamming the door on both ends.
You mentioned the unique back-to-back of facing them again tomorrow. What are some of the non-basketball related things as a coach that you tell your team to get ready for that?
We just got to get back to zero, which we always try to do, and it's particularly important on a quick turnaround and against the same team. You know, we have to understand this is a really good team that doesn't like how they feel right now, and they're going to wake up tomorrow very motivated for the game. And I would assume they're going to play better tomorrow than they did tonight, and we need to play better if we want to compete again tomorrow.
You guys have been on the other end of it for most of the season with injuries just midway through a game, but they lose Aaron Gordon really early in this one. How do you think that sort of impacted the flow of the game?
I mean, he's a really good player, you know, that has great impact for them. You know, gives him size, gives him offensive rebounding, point of attack defense, rebounding, offensive rebounding. Great respect for him as a player, but I have great respect for them as a team. I mean, they're a really good team, regardless of who's on the floor for them. So they'll adjust like all good teams do.
Anybody else for Coach?
All right, thanks.